I don't think we were locked completely in the second half, myself included. I think we get a little too comfortable with our leads, and you're not going to win any game going 7 to 8 minutes without scoring the basketball. So there's things that we can control, but it's kind of getting old, and we just talked about that in the locker room. We gotta start finishing games.
Trey, happy to be back home in your arena here.
Just happy to be back playing. Just happy to be back playing. Wish could have helped the team out even more and get some wins.
Trey, how do you get the morale back up after something like this? I mean, this was pretty devastating loss. I mean, you guys looked like you had it in hand and just kind of went totally cold.
If you watch the game or you played in that game, that should be enough for you to be pumped up and ready to get better than that, because that's pretty embarrassing if I think so. Performances from all of us. I mean, there were some stretches where people played good, but I mean, no one put together a good game, like an overall good game, first and second half. So I mean, if you're not hungry enough from that alone to get ready and go give everything you got, I mean, probably the wrong sport for you.
Is there a point in that drought? At what point do you guys realize that things are starting to get away from you? And how do you try and get that back?
I mean, I don't think there was necessarily a time where we thought, oh man, it's game over. I just think maybe, they made some plays. That's what happens. Game of runs. They made a run, and we just went cold. Can't go completely dry on offense. I mean, you have to get stops defensively, but you got to be able to give yourself a little breathing room and stuff, and be able to at least get to the free throw line, get a layup or something. You can't go 8 minutes without a field goal.
They're 7-footer inside. What was it like trying to defend him under the basket?
I mean, he's a great player. I mean, he's big, clearly 7 feet tall. We're undersized as it is right now, so it's always tough. But I mean, we gotta take it for what it is and just be ready to compete. And just give it your all. That's all you can do.
Stretch run coming down here in the conference tournament. What do you guys got to do from here to that point to gain some momentum for the tournament?
I was always told when I was younger, it's harder to handle success than failure. So, I mean, we have success on the road, feel good, come home, lay an egg. So you got to be able, elite teams, like if you look at the Warriors and stuff, they have laser focus. They're able to string runs together and play well. And that's what this team has to do. We have to be able to win multiple games in a row, especially at home. Like you can't give up games at home.
Tristan, you sat out 1 minute in the last 3 games. You tired?
No, not really. Coaches do a pretty good job of calling timeouts and just doing little things inside the game to give me a little rest. I've been taking care of my body after practices and whatnot, a lot of stretching and recovery. I mean, if I have to be out there for 40 minutes, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to help the team win. Obviously, we didn't win tonight, but we're looking forward to the rest of the Summer League play, and hopefully we can rack up some wins.
Yeah, Tristan, the good news is you got everybody again to start the second half all over again, so you got shots in each one of these teams again. I mean, that's the good thing to look at. I mean,
Yeah, it's nice to have obviously have Red back, and Dan was back tonight. He played 1 minute, but hopefully he'll help us out and give us some size inside. 3-5 the first half of conference play. We're not happy about that at all. So we're really going to lock in and get that laser focus going for the second half of Summer League and get some wins.
Trey, how have you felt since you've been back? Any rust to shake off or anything like that?
Yeah, probably still a little rusty, a little bit on offense. Maybe kind of not locked in fully like I was in the early half of the season. But I mean, it's basketball. I've been playing it for a long time, so I just got to get back into it and just focus up a little more. But I think overall, pretty getting back into the flow of things.
What do you mean by not focused in as much?
Just little personal errors, maybe not run and play correctly or something, just little personal things like that. You got to be able to pick up the plays and just be able to execute and go through it smoothly to help your team out.
Anything else for these two? Okay, thanks guys.
Obviously played well, start second half, got the lead, and just couldn't score down the stretch. Felt like we went about 8 minutes without scoring. They went on a 16-0 run, and we did have good looks, I thought, but we just couldn't knock them down. And Gilbeck's, a handful in there for us to guard. But I think offensively what was the biggest difference for us, shooting 37% at home. It's our 4th game in 10 days. There's no excuse. Our guys got to get tougher, and they just got to step up and make shots.
Questions?
Was it anything they did, or just a matter of you guys missed the shots? That was it?
I don't, it's hard to get to the rim on Gilbeck. And it's hard for, we don't have really a post player, so that makes it hard. And so you've got to make pull-ups, you got to make threes, and I felt during that stretch we had wide open pull-up from Cody, wide open pull-up from Tristan, wide open 3 from Brandon, wide open 3 from TP. Red had wide open, we just couldn't make any. And, you got to knock down shots. At the end of the game, they run 1-4, and Webster gets a layup, and then he gets a step-off 3. There's just players making plays. Our guy, Cody, was right on him on the step-off 3. He just stepped back, knocked it down. So sometimes it's a make-or-miss deal, and you do have to make shots, and guys have to step up and knock them down. And unfortunately, we just didn't. We didn't make anything in the second half. And so I didn't think it was much. They didn't really do anything different in the second half.
Tristan said that it seemed like the guys, once you got that lead, that they kind of weren't as locked in over that stretch. Did you get that sense as well?
I could see our guys, back off intensity-wise. Absolutely. When that was do or die for them at that point. Get a 10 or 11-point lead, and they made some plays, knocked down a couple shots. Then that big 4-point play, that was a big one. Have to look at the film on that one, but I'm sure our guys did back down. And it's hard. You probably lose a little bit of your confidence and intensity when you just cannot make a shot. And I don't know what our stretch was, but it seemed like 6 or 8 minutes without scoring a basket. 7? Yeah.
So Stan only played 17 minutes today and was on the bench during the last part of the game there. What's his strategy?
Defensively, he's still working. He was in foul trouble a lot tonight. Not his normal game. He picked up 2 in the first half, so we sat him. Then he picked up his 3rd right at the beginning of the second half. We sat him down. We went on the run. I told him that he needed to be ready to go, and he went back in the game, when we were up 8 or so. I forget what time he came in. We'll have to see, how it was, plus minus, and how it was. But, yeah, he had a disappointing game. Never really got in a flow, always in foul trouble. We tried to go to him to start the second half. Teams are starting to deny him a little bit and do some different things to him.
How's Trey look to you over these past couple games?
He looks healthy. I'm sure he's not in any rhythm because he missed 2.5, 3 weeks of practice. He really only practiced once before we played North Dakota. We came back from that road trip, and we had 1 day to prepare for these guys. So I thought defensively we were okay. I was worried about that because we only had 1 day to prepare. They were off for a week. I knew they'd come in fresh. But I thought defensively we were pretty good. I just think offensively we didn't make shots. Red looks fine. He may be a little bit out of rhythm though.
It's such a short turnaround time. How did you prepare for them defensively?
Well, you got to spend a lot of time with Gilbeck because he's so big, and we've got a freshman guarding him, then Red's got to guard him at the 5. Dan's not quite 100%, so, you know, he's playing limited minutes. And then, you know, we spent, they set a lot of ball screens for the guards. We did a good job blitzing those. You know, they've got some pretty good guard. I thought their freshman was really good, Pyle. But defensively, I was pleased with our guys' preparation. We were prepared to play the game. We didn't start out the game real well, but to have an 11-point lead, I think was that our largest lead? To have an 11-point lead at home in the second half, you got to close those out. You know, you can't give those away. So this is probably the most disappointing loss of the season, you know, for our guys. Yeah, absolutely. You know, we just went on the road and won a game and come back home and lose a game. Can't give those away. You know, you got to, you know, defend your home court. And so that was definitely, you know, talked about, and I thought we were in position to do it. We just backed down in the second half, and then we stopped making shots, and then they made that run.
So what do you do moving forward second half of the season to try and get your team to keep their foot on the gas, you know, especially in a situation like this?
Well, hopefully, you know, Red gets in more of a rhythm. You're going to practice. Dan Jack hopefully gets healthy. Logan's starting to practice. We got more bodies. So I think our guys, you know, start of the second half, we got to go on the road again. We played 7 out of our last 10 before today on the road. So it'll be 8 out of 12. We've just been on the road a lot. This schedule was not a, you know, we tried to change it. Once we saw it, I know Dawn wanted to change it too, to have 3 games on the road in 6 days. And then you come home and the team you're playing has a week off. So it's a little tough. Hopefully the guys, we do have some stretches in the second half where we have some bye weeks, which we need to work on things. Seems like every day we're just preparing for an opponent. And sometimes you lose your fundamentals. Maybe you lose your legs a little bit, traveling and playing 4 games in 10 days. So we're not the deepest team, as you guys know, so.
Speaking of which, are you happy to see the run of the Magnificent 7 come to an end?
Yeah, hopefully we get more bodies. We definitely need them. You know, Tristan played 40 minutes tonight, and TP played 38. It's just too much, you know, and they're not the biggest guys. You know, it's not like they had, you know, they didn't play a ton of guys either. They didn't spread their minutes out too much. So, you know, there's no excuse. We've got to just get better.
Anything more for Coach?
Thanks, Scott.